Hello, buddy. Just give me another minute or so, and then we'll hop right into it. I did. Oh, I feel like it. Back in the gym, where it's at least more comfortable. Okay, let's get started, eh? So, I hope the lighting is okay in here. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. One of my lines. So far, it hasn't gotten old. Maybe eventually it will. Which light do I want to have on? I feel like I need one. And actually, I should leave this stuff here. Almost, but I'd rather do it there, which is the art is kind of nice in the window, as opposed to the stuff on top of the fridge, on the fridge. Maybe we didn't do that. That's okay because I didn't want to know. And the flashing handles. Oh, that reminds me. Well, that's kind of why that's there. I will show this though. This is a piece of G's art that is on the fridge. And this is actually something that I got at that festival, and that one, and the dog, one of them fell off the fridge, broke, and the dog started to chew it. But welcome. So, curious who we've got watching, if you'd like to comment, where you're watching from, and you left, but whatever. So, until somebody comes, I'm just going to do something that I recommend that we all kind of try and do in almost all of our days, as much as we're able to, which I know means different things to different people and different things to certain people on different days. But I feel one of the things that I need to do today, although I am going for a long walk, a long-ish walk, there and back where I'm going, and I don't want to, make it worse. But I've had a lot of back pain lately. I think I took a Tylenol this morning. I don't want to be drowsy because I think they might be extra strength. Also had tight knees. And it's not supposed to rain today, but I don't know where my walking stick is. Let me just take another quick look over here. Move things around sometimes. But then again, I almost remember being over here. But no, I don't do it there either. So. And this probably works. So I just felt like I shouldn't be sitting down right now. So I don't know where my guitar strap is. So I might do a song on the guitar. But while I'm talking, I'll stand. So, curious if, and you left. Anyway. And I kind of would rather say what this channel is about because I'm actually quite happy about what the main kind of themes are of this channel and what I'm doing with it. And I'd like somebody here hearing it, to be quite honest. She's still not live. Well, it's still early. She's like early today. But so yeah, this channel, welcome, is about wellness, psychology sometimes, music, and I really try and make it, a great viewer experience, including while live, and the person left it like, I don't like any of that stuff. Just kidding. Or who knows, maybe their phone died, right? Or something. It's completely possible. But another thing that this channel is sometimes about is spiritual healing in the sense of mostly not religion. Oh, hi, Addie RL. I almost didn't see that that comment there, but yo, so Addie RL. So I'm curious how you came across this channel, if you've ever been to it before, and if you'd like to say where you're watching from, feel free. I just a moment ago said, and I haven't been rolling that long, said what this channel is basically about, what I do on it. I'm not sure if you caught me saying so. How are you do? I think you mean how are you? And I'm okay. I'm excited for the day, and I'm excited doing this. And yeah, I'm a little bit sore. My muscles are aching a little bit, but how are you? And feel free to answer the other stuff. In the meantime, as I was saying, I don't steer away from the topic of religion. I feel like if people can talk about it respectfully, I mean, I'm not the most, I don't want to say I'm not educated about it, but I'm not the most educated on the topic either. Perhaps because I'm not, a strong Bible reader. However, I don't, as long as people are respectful, I don't mind, a little bit of religious banter. And I do believe that believing in God, believing in afterlife, and elements, certain things about the supernatural, and I don't know if he just left. It certainly looked like he did. And if so, I'd like to ask why. Can coexist. Well, I think you're back, and so am I. I was just a bit chilly. However, I might not be in a moment because I'm going to incorporate some movement and invite you to do what you're able to do as well. And it's no specific movements. And it looks like you left again, but I think you had came back for a moment there, so hopefully you'll do so again for longer. But do you like movement? No, I don't do that kind of stuff. But don't we all, right? And I, most of the time, not always, and not today really, but most of the time I spend a lot of time in my stagnant rut or, supporting people online, whatever, sitting on the couch, and to the point, although I also put stuff on it sometimes, to the point where sections of it have started to sink. And you can see by looking at me that I'm not necessarily, not trying to be mean to anybody when I say this, but I'm not obese. I may be a bit of a Buddha belly, but, anywho, so, although even standing, I'm noticing that my back is a bit tight. So I should have looked up some good exercises. I know some I'm thinking of, but whether I want to do them. Shoulder rolls can be a good one, actually. And I can feel muscles or bones moving as I do it. But maybe mine was just simply saying that, it's good that you're getting some movement and other great things in your day. I think that this day has the potential to bring me some healing and therapeutic and enjoyable things. It's not that every day doesn't, but this day is a bit different. This day, there's a bit more opportunity for it. I feel like there's something I'm going to. And so, yeah, so basically, I believe that I've been given a God-given gift of communicating with angels and loved ones. Now, as I say when I bring up this topic, let's just say, what order do I want to say these in? Especially since it looks like Addie left. So, I mean, some things I might want to say when somebody tunes in. I don't feel it all the time. And that's just because I think there's, so many other distractions. Even when I'm not the busiest, there's always distractions. Sometimes maybe none of them, and there's a lot of them that I have in heaven, feel like I need anything specific or like they know what to say. They aren't necessarily miracle workers, but maybe a bit more than us earth angels are. And so they're just there because they care, because they want to share in the making the memories with us in that way. I do believe that it's a God-given gift. I don't really utilize it for others all that often. It's just kind of how it happens, or doesn't, I guess. But I, from time to time, find healing from it, with it, for myself. I'm going to adjust the lighting. I'm probably going to be under some, although I've been at, the other location, and maybe once or twice at that location where they just let natural light come in, although they do have foggy windows. But that's a bit better. It's actually not all that bright, but I almost feel like I'm going to sit down shortly. But yes, and unless somebody has had such experiences, like with a lot of other things, but we're talking about this right now, I feel you can't say it's not real. You just can't, because I know how real it is for me. I was talking with someone the other day, and I don't want to say too much about them. However, I will say that their sister passed away a while ago, and she was quite young. And I did share with her, if there was somebody here, I'd say it. But right now, I'm just going to jump into it, and then maybe I'll go back to it, because it was very interesting experience, and kind of was what started it for me. When I started either realizing or was given at that time in my life, and still the gift, which I believe is actually the title of a song, possibly more than one. But I am noticing, though, that I am feeling a little bit tight in my muscles. I'm noticing a lot lately, and it's not like it's getting colder that much quickly, and it's not like I feel it all winter, and we have some pretty cold winters. So I don't know what's causing it. I'm almost tempted. What time did I take Tylenol? At 8? 7:30 maybe? And I'm probably going to eat well today. Otherwise, I'd possibly take a vitamin if I could see them on the counter. I know they're there somewhere. Oh, right. But yeah. So, I don't know. This is the thing. I don't have any specific movements to suggest doing. That's what I was saying. Put the camera a little bit. I don't hate you if you think that. I'd almost hate you if you didn't. Just kidding. I'm not a hater. That's actually a pretty good one. That, it had the arms and body in a certain way. That's been wonky lately, so I don't know. It had the arms and body in a certain way, a certain kind of, and I think that actually, So, just doing some stretches because I feel like my body needs it. And somebody was there for a few seconds. They're like, oh, yeah, I have to go do yoga, actually. This could be very zen as well. I'll tell you that much. Okay, so as long as my shoes are here, so I'm probably going to remember. I also feel like I need to be near the fan. So they ain't got any fans tuned in yet. I need to be near the other fan. But I also have my fans in the sense of my angels. And I'd like to share that with you a little bit. And I also am trying to figure out which of these clothes I'm going to wear. Kind of figured out part of what I'm going to wear today, and part I haven't. Turn on this other light. I don't think it's going to be too bright. It's not like it's super dark in the room, but it's not super bright either. I'd like it to be. Okay, so so you know, I just want to share with you, if you've never seen anybody channel before, or if you have, I want to share with you what it looks like. I mean, yeah, I'm not doing it all day, but it could relax a bit. But I won't be, the main talker or the thing today. I do hope to do some talking, but I just want to share with you what it looks like. And yeah, to channel. And even though it's my loved ones, I would hope that it could bring you healing as well. Um, because let's face it, I think that we all, whether we talk about it much or whatever, I feel like we all have things that we're needing to heal from in life. And I think also powerful is, just gonna grab it. And he says, one, in case I need them, and two, because I like to have some in my pocket. We all also, I would say, even if we still got, a lot that we're working through or whatever, I would say that we all have done some healing in our life. And not only is that great for us, but it does make our connections easier to have. And also, I think that we can teach and empower others with it, and the things that we learn in life. Um, you know, um, I don't feel like you have to have a degree or something necessarily to do that. You just have to be living a life and having experiences. And if you're alive, you're doing both, even if sometimes they're hard, difficult experiences or you're struggling, Um, so, um, speaking of people that have lived lives, I guess I would say, well, initially I was going to do this video because I was thinking of G's sister. And, even though, again, the message was something maybe mostly just for me, I had thought, that she might be trying to give me a message and that maybe I'd come here. But I was watching a podcast and a girl that I follow who does music. Um, and huh, interesting song request. Um, and a couple things transpired in her live chat, which I felt was symbolic. One of them was somebody asking about a song that had the word angel in it that I didn't know. The other one was somebody asking about a song that when my one friend passed away a few months ago, almost a year ago now, actually, um, I was looking back at old videos because her job, her career, I knew that there was, she had a very fun job, and I know that she loved it because it was mostly fun. Mostly her bosses were good, and she got to hang out and have fun with her friends and friends and maybe some of her families. Well, yeah, actually, some of her family on shift. Sometimes it was actually, at least with one of her jobs that she had, it was actually quite a blessing. Um, and I know that she agrees with that. And so I had some videos, but the one I'm referring to is actually one where she was at my place, and I was playing guitar, and she was um, she didn't sing this one with me. And I think I remember it was a few months ago I looked at this. I think I remember asking her, um, did you know that? And she says, yeah, that's an okay song. Or I think I've heard it a couple times or something like that. Um, but and I may have done a video where I was just playing the audio when I found that one or another one that she was in. I'm surprised I hadn't found more. But anywho, if I could ever find the full, she was in like a documentary thing apparently, and if I could ever find that, I don't know whether I'd want to see it or not, but I kind of do. Apparently, it was about her health struggles and her difficulties at a point in time in her life with alcohol, I believe. I don't think really any other substances, but she did. She did apparently. I don't think I knew her at this time, or didn't see her struggling with this. I more so saw the opposite, which in a way was kind of nice and special. I mean, because when people overdo alcohol, it can be, pretty hard to to sorry um, to see it, struggle with it, that kind of stuff, right? It's only been 22 minutes. Wow. Anywho, and so basically, yeah. Um, and then somebody requested a song, and then seeing that thing on the fridge actually too. Um, Somebody requested a song that I did as an audition thing. Maybe not the same way I might do it today, but I did it as an audition to perform at a festival that we have here, which I remember was the last time that I saw her in person before she passed away. If you've never heard the story before, and maybe you'll care, maybe you won't, but either way, welcome. Glad to have you here. Curious if you've ever been to the channel before, and you left, whatever. Or at least it looks like you did. Anywho, basically, she hollered out to me. It was kind of a crowded area. There was probably something going on the stage at the time. I don't remember what. And she hollered out to me, and she just pretty much said, "Hey, nice to see you. Enjoying the festival?" I said, "Yeah, how you been?" And we hadn't actually talked in quite a while, even though we were otherwise quite close. And she says that she had recently been in the hospital, and but she's doing better now. And I may have asked if she wanted to do something at the festival as well, like catch a performance or something. And I think she said that she was heading to work. Either that or we were heading to something or heading home after being there for a while. But it's a nice memory kind of to have. Like, I know that I was important to her. As I said, we somewhat had a fallout, sort of, kind of. But it was nice to know that if she realized it, and I think she did, but it was maybe a bit more something I noticed from my side of things. That was maybe a small thing that I didn't necessarily look at as a big thing, but as enough of something to kind of disconnect from her or whatever. Which is unfortunate because now I can't post her memorial page, but I can look at it at least via my other account, not on this site. But anywho, so basically, but it was nice that she hollered out, and forgave me, perhaps you could say, or just still showed that, she cared, she wanted to chat, and that. Now, we did have two people there very briefly, and maybe I wasn't saying the most interesting thing to, for random strangers to hear. So let's get on with that. Shall we, Rae, Kathleen, or Linda? I'm most strongly feeling Rae's energy. In fact, I'm going to a place that makes me think of her. And I've done a few things at this place. And I'm sure I have before, or I'm thankful, but I just want to take this moment to thank my friend for bringing. Well, first of all, thank you for the music, the songs they're singing. Thank you for the joy it's bringing. Thank you for the music, for bringing it to me. But also, thank you for being a friend. Thank you. I'm thinking of songs. Where's everybody? Up there at the moment. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. You're always true. You're a pal and a confidant, which is ironic. I don't know if I should sing more of that song, but it's ironic because I was around somebody the other night with a unique name, which somebody from that show both has a unique name in general, but also that she plays on the show, Golden Girls. In fact, I guess there's more than one unique name in that. But I'm thinking it could be likely that's where this person kind of got their name from. If you'd like, I can sing the rest of the theme song. But yeah, anyway, so because I know I'd mentioned it to someone this morning, and I think that's why I maybe did, because that was just very recently that I was around that person. Anywho, so basically, and yeah, thank you for bringing this place to me, the help that it brings me. Just very, very briefly thanking one of my angels, and then we can kind of continue on with things in here. And then I'm going to do a song, Despacito. If you have another song request, I can try and do it. And yeah. But basically, yeah, I mean, for the hamper, for the experiences I've had so far, and what I'm going to go to today, which in some ways is not something I've otherwise, it's the type of thing I've never otherwise been to. Let's just say it. It's a pipe ceremony, not a instrument pipe. And but like how it's an indigenous thing. Not that I am, but anybody's welcome. And if you've ever been to one, I'm curious if you could tell me a little bit about them. I mean, I'll go either way, but I and I think I know what to kind of expect from it, but I'm curious. But yeah, so I said a little bit about this next part that I'm going to share, but I just want first of all, welcome to the channel. I haven't been rolling super long with this one, but curious how you came across it, if you've been before, and I'm glad to have you here. Remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. I appreciate it. Now, again, I'm going to share something that may be more healing and special to me, but hopefully you might get something from it as well. And again, not to sound like I'm repeating myself, but you may not have heard me when I've said it before. I know how, let me just say this. The first time, and I mostly do this for myself for the most part, but the first time that I had a spiritual visit was my dad. A few years after he passed, I was in need. I think I told this story recently on the channel, actually, but if you've never heard it, I was going through some stuff. And basically what I heard was, my son, what's most important is that in life is that you end in career, is that you do what you love and enjoy, and that you can do what they're comfortable with. The world's come a long way in accepting people's differences and challenges. Don't be scared to live life. Things will be okay. I mentioned that to someone in conversation the other day, actually. I never have forgotten it, but I don't carry it with me as much as maybe I could. At the same time, it's guaranteeing a lot when life isn't easy sometimes, right? I don't feel connections like that super often, but I sometimes do, and I feel it's very special. And my dad's words to me, I hope, can also be words to you in your life. the one part of it makes me think of the video I did recently the other night about judgment and self-judgment, judgments that we make, as we go through life, because we all do go through life and make judgments from time to time, even if we try not to. And, to know that the world is, in a lot of ways, a more accepting place about a lot of things than they used to maybe be, as we now have 4 of you here. Welcome. 2 to 1 to 4. Glad to have you all here. Again, I hate to sound repetitive, but I am curious if you've ever been to the channel before or how you found it. And you might recognize a name in the title, even though they weren't exactly full names, and that was somewhat intentional. But so I've had a few experiences, actually, and two, but whatever. And like those 2 songs, the place I'm going today. In general, I very much feel my friend Rae here with her love and kindness for me and for you all, and my dad, and perhaps your loved ones. It's a great gift that I try and do the best I can with. And we got 3 of you here. But I must say that I also do appreciate, and you're not going to distract me for the most part. I have ADHD, so you can comment. I'm happy to see your comments. But and I need it I appreciate it just as much as, are you live? Yeah. Isn't that obvious? As much as, from that realm. Maham. How have you, who are you talking to? No, I'm talking to our viewers, but I'm also, like I say, talking about angel communication. Yeah. And it's been a little while since I've done it, but I know that my friend Rae just wishes me a great day, hopes I have a lot of fun, and wants other people to enjoy their life too. She's pretty much saying to my telepathy right now that, she didn't live a long life. You're a nice person, man. Yeah, thanks. I try to be. Where are you watching from? First time on the channel? Glad to have you here. She didn't live a long life. I feel like and remember to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. She's expressing that, first of all, heaven is beautiful, and she's very happy to be there. Cool. We all lose loved ones, and they lose us in some ways when they pass away, but in some ways they don't too, because of, whether you have this ability or not, and she says that she's very comfortable here, as are all the others there. However, it is hard to be so far from her loved ones, many of which do not feel her presence, even though she tries. She says that she misses the life that she lived, but, and this is what she recommends to all of us, including me, she knows that she lived a good life. Same with my dad, who passed young. Could they have done some things differently? Maybe. But were they good people who did their best, not knowing? I mean, my dad passed in an auto accident when I was a child, almost a teenager. My other friend that I'm talking about, she had a health condition that she had since she was a kid. So she maybe did realize, and in fact, I think she's told my gift before, that she did realize that she might not have a long life. And that's, aside from the fact that she liked having fun, that's why she made sure to enjoy the life that she did have while she had it. And she says, and truly, bud, none of us knows when we're going to pass away. None of us knows, So she says, we just got to be good to each other. Enjoy the ride the raves, go through the struggles, get through them, be there for other people and theirs. as best as we can, and that is living a good life. G's sister recently passed away, and I did feel her a little bit around us the other day, and it's only been about a week. And I did send to her daughter that she feels like she's in her eternal home now, and it's beautiful, and that she thanks her loved ones for their care and support as she was passing away. I know that our viewers probably have a loved one they'd like to hear from and heal. Um, and then I'm going to play a song, and then in a little while I have to go out. So if you'd like to hear from one of your angels, let me know if you're open to it. I'd be happy to try if there's a connection, a specific connection. I just shared an experience I just had now, and ones I've had before, and 3 of you are here listening, and I appreciate that. And I think and hope that you can see how real it is, how healing it is. I've got to be honest. I mean, I'll keep her anonymous. I don't know if she's one of the 3 watching right now. It's certainly not the video that I was telling her about the other day, but I do feel like the sister of one of my friends is here. And she also passed young. And last night I told this particular friend, for a couple specific reasons, but I told her that I felt she was a very strong person. Single mother, has a kid with a disability, and that kind of stuff. And has a hard job and other things going on. And I can usually tell the difference, and I do feel like it came from me, but I also feel like her sister would say it too. Her sister says that she's very inspired by her sister, very, very proud. Couldn't have asked for a better sister. And of her nieces and nephews, and so many people that she had in her life. She says that this is interesting. May not sound weird, but it's kind of interesting how she's saying that, and all 3 of you left, but whatever. She's saying that the people that she had in her life made it worth living. And yeah, we could say, well, yeah, that makes sense. However, all my times in doing this, I've never had somebody actually verbalize it that way. So I'm going to repeat it because I think either all 3 of you came back or 3 different people came back. Moham, are you still there? Addie, who do we got watching? The people that she had in her life made it worth living. And I heard Rae say she can relate to that. And even my dad, although he says that, of course, he lived the longest out of these 3 people, but he worked a lot. He said, hey, my clients were important to me. My family was obviously important to me. And I tried to have friendships, but he says we relate in that a little bit. He says, I'm so proud of the friendships that you have, the friendships that you make online and in general. And I try and make that happen for you, as well, because you deserve it. He says, you're a great person, and I'm proud to be your dad. But he says, I know sometimes you're lonely. And he says that we all can be, and we have to show ourselves some love and compassion when we feel that. And that he worked a lot, his some of his best friends were his clients that he saw when he went to work with their horses. And he didn't know he was going to pass away, but he made sure that he made my mother feel like a loved person and me, and showed how much he cared about us. Which kind of makes me think, I don't know if one of the people watching, and now it's 2-1, Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Does somebody connect with the disorder MS or the condition MS? Because I don't know if it's my cousin Mark or somebody else that, or both maybe, that I feel is coming into things now too. But first, Kathy says, Kathleen says, one moment though, if I may. She says, I just want to make sure that you do understand and believe that I've made it to heaven, which I think is weird that she's asking that, because of course I do. You passed away. I believe good people that pass away go to heaven. You know, she's like, okay, I just want you to know that I'm well, that I care about you guys, that I'm thinking about you, and and she says maybe the better question would have been, and again, we can all heal from these messages. Maybe the better question would have been, I want to make sure that you truly do realize that I do not hold it against you that you didn't come to BC to be with me when I was passing away. And I do. I mean, we understand our reasons. We know that she was the type of person that, would not want us to have to go through too much hassle to make that happen. And that she really wasn't up to much visiting, her last 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, you know. G might struggle with that more, especially since the other sister did go a couple times. But, the reminder is that life goes on in a different way. So even if we don't get to, and hopefully you realize now it's not from her, now it's me. Even if we don't get to be with our loved ones as we're passing away, in some ways, that could be a blessing. Because it's not the easiest thing to go through, right? Especially if it's every day, being with them as they're, getting closer. And the people that do go through it, sure, people can imagine what it's like. But the people that do go through it have a hard time not carrying that with them the rest of their life, right? So, it's always hard when that kind of thing happens. But yeah. So I'm just going to say some random, perhaps very specific things that may resonate with a couple of you. Let me know. I'd be curious. And again, remember to like and subscribe. And then I'm going to do a song. And you both left. So it doesn't make sense to do it if nobody's here. They might have been here thinking, this is cool that, it's something that helps you and that you like to do for yourself. Some people may have said, I didn't ask for you to do it for me. I don't need you to. I don't want you to. This is true. Or I just not sure if I'm comfortable. Could be. But it says 2 again. So maybe they came back or somebody else is here. Curious if you've been to the channel before, how you came across it, and welcome. So if you don't know what's transpiring, and again, I've already said, okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to slow down for a moment anyway, because I think I need to. And if this resonates with our viewers or viewer, it resonates. And yeah. So, and I do with this ability, and I, like I said intro. So if you're a little uncertain what you think of it, or you think you know what you think of it, and it may not be supportive, I recommend that you check out what I said earlier in this video, if you didn't see it then, but you left, so whatever. But I'm sensing blonde hair, and that's not connected to any of the ones I was referring to, any of the 3 or 4 that I was thinking of myself. But I'm sensing blonde hair, and I'm sensing that it's curly. And I'm also sensing young with that one too. I guess it's the theme. I'm sensing like maybe 40s, late 30s, early 40s. um, and a condition that progressed very rapidly. Um, you know, that there were many people in her life that said, well, when the doctors give you so long to live, they're not always right. They're not always right. You might have longer. Um, but they were right, or they were pretty close to right. And she just wants to say again, she's up there, she's fine, she's happy, she's free from her health condition. Um, and she's really emphasizing how strongly she cherished those the last time that she saw so many important people in her life. Wherever she saw them, whatever the context was, she said she wants, she can't reach all of them through my live stream, but she can maybe reach one or two or so, and that she just wants them to remember how special it was for her, for them, to share those times together. Um, she's interestingly also saying something else. She is saying that there may have been times in those visits where emotions were strong in one way or another. And the people might be feeling, and I mean, it makes sense, it does, but still, again, this isn't something I feel comes up very often, but people go through it often, that they might be feeling like they wish they'd held it together better, or that, that she's holding it against them, like that, it got in the way of their time together. The feelings of sadness, frustration, uncertainty, whatever it is. And she's saying she noticed it, she understood it, and she understands. It's fine. It's fine. She says that they have no idea, or maybe they do, just how special those moments were anyway. You know, as they were special to them, they were special to her. She's looking past that. She understands. Um, One thing I've learned in doing this, unless they're my loved ones whose names I do know, so I will always connect that to them, and it helps me kind of, but I can also sense their energy and stuff too, so I know, when it's a young girl that loves to dance and sing and the hair color that she had and this and that, I know who it is. When it's an older man, with the kind of voice a little similar to mine, actually, I know. But I also feel like I've been told by many angels that they don't necessarily keep their name. They don't need a name when they're there. Um, but sometimes they will. They do kind of remember the name that they had when they were living, and they will sometimes give letters within their name, because that's how we connect to them, and that is important to them. But it's like it's almost a foreign concept to them, names. you know Interestingly, though, I do feel like ages aren't what I have sensed for them as they go to their best time in life. So actually it may not be a specific age, but an approximate area, in approximate age. um so yeah, nobody's here at the moment. But I will say that I'm sensing, this is interesting, I'm sensing the J. I know I'm hearing a J, and it's the second letter. The first letter sounds like it has an E sound to it. The first ones I felt were C and T, but it might be another letter that has that sound. I realize that this is not something that's for everybody, or that everybody's going to understand or necessarily know what to think of, know what to make of it. I think we just got to take it for what it is and the special healing that it can bring us. And the other thing I'm sensing about that individual with the curly hair is that she had a kind of unique laugh, or that she just laughed a lot, or both, maybe actually. Um, you know, and truly, some people don't laugh as much as other people. They're a bit more serious. They're a bit more self-conscious, whatever it is. But Ray had a bit of a unique laugh. Mark kind of did too. It wasn't so much of a laugh as it was the Steve Harvey face, kind of. He makes a lot of faces, but if that makes any sense. But anyway, the person that I was talking about, yeah, she has a very kind of lulling laugh, if that makes sense, like kind of thing. Like there was like notes to it. Now, speaking of that, um, as I was mentioning earlier, before I did this podcast, I was watching another musician. She does hope to make her career in music, as do I, kind of, but she wasn't. But she's known on her channel. Otherwise, maybe not so much. I don't know if she performs out. I think I've asked her before. I also asked her if I could sing along with the one song that she did that made me think of this one loved one. Like I say, we were at my place. I played the song. She was around there with me. Pretty much just said, I don't know how you would do that. And I wrote a few lines, and I could tell that she was trying to process it, but she was also trying to keep up with her chat. Somebody said she had a very tonal voice. You know what? And so I don't know if I've been given permission, but I feel like she's kind of said, if it, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a video in the future with her where I'll bring her on camera. But I think she's kind of was saying that if I could, sure, go ahead. So I'll just play a little bit. I should possibly do that via the other device, though. How did that come through? I know it was brief, but how did that come through? Playing it on the same device that I'm recording it. In the meantime, while I still have energy and I'm heading out soon, and I should let the dog back downstairs for a little bit before I go out, I'm going to play Despacito. I don't know the non-English parts, but I'll do my best with it. And I feel Ray is saying, if you feel like it's something that you can do, kind of like my dad actually said, that you're comfortable with, that you do still want to do, submit a performance piece. Audition again. It's hard because this particular festival, they do random draws for their stage performances and for their other theater shows that they do during the festival. And because it's random, of course, they do pick more than one, but some people won't get picked. And I think we all experience that sometimes, whether it's rejection or just feeling not included, and I never want people to feel that on my channel. As long as they're being good people and kind people, you're welcome to chat with me and like and subscribe and comment. But she's just, I feel like, and this is advice again that any of us can put to anything in our life that we're going through. So I froze up from there. Yeah. She's kind of just saying that, if you feel like you can be okay either way, the same with when we make connections, that, will they last a long time or won't they? If you feel like you can accept that it may or may not be, then do it. Because that's what she's kind of saying for me. That's kind of one of the hard parts about it, is that I would maybe struggle to accept that. She says, I know how much you're wanting opportunities right now. You've got a great one before you later today. You're doing a great podcast. I'm really proud of you, bud. I hope your other viewers are enjoying it as well. 2 of them have been here for a while now. And she says, but you know what? You are a great singer, and that needs to be heard as well. So how about you stop talking to us, stop rambling, and play a song for the one person that's here now and for us all. And how can I say no to that, right? I just have to. I don't know whether I should do it on the guitar or piano. I've never tried it on the piano, so I'm sort of wanting to do it on the piano. I thought she said you do you. Well, both are me. Ugh. I appreciate your patience as I make my way over here. And yeah, and then I'll let the dog go for a little while. Okay. She says, that's one thing. I played a little bit of guitar, she says, in my life. And I did dabble a little bit, but she said if I could do something different in my life, she said I would have been more consistent playing instruments. She says, I sang a lot with my job and in general, but she says, it's such a gift that you have to play an instrument, even if you don't feel like you always do it well. Appreciate the gift you're given. She's saying it to me, she's saying it to you. If they're doing good for yourself and the world, you have no excuse not to do your best with them and enjoy the gifts that you have. That does make me think of another song, actually. But it's not going to be an ordinary day. It's going to be a better than ordinary day. So this is Despacito. For some reason it's making me load it twice so that I can auto scroll it. Here we go. And again, I'm sorry that I can't pronounce the foreign language, but is this just a moment though? Yeah, that's all not English. There is some that have the English version as well, or at least some of the English lyrics, and I would like to have them. Yeah, this is a version. So we've got two other one here still. So, okay. Enjoy the beauty in each day. Come on over here in my direction. So thankful for that. Such a blessing. Yeah. Turn every situation into heaven. Oh, you are my sunrise on the darkest day. Got me feeling some kind of way. You want to savor every moment slowly. Tailor-made, love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. My ear, the only words I wanna hear. Maybe take it slow so we can last long. Da 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 beautiful other languages, the beauty within them. I'm trying it. But I do remember that they may not be what some people would call kosher. Favorito. peligro, hosta provocator gatos, ora appetata pelito, zeta pelito, da 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 all in one note, shall we try? Here we go. Breath on it. Let's see if I can do it two strings. I was gonna try and do it in two strings, but I don't want to pass out. I have a day ahead of me that I want to live. This is how interesting. I like him. This is how we do it down in Puerto Rico. I just want to hear you when I'm bandito. I can ever contestar contigo. I feel like doing that a whole bunch. I feel like I'm at the dentist. Now it said 1 until I came back to the screen. Now it says 0. No life. What can you do? Can't please them all, right? Well, yeah. So that's that. That's the only song I had prepared. But now I'm a little bit. Part of me wants to let the dog downstairs for a bit before I go out. But part of me worries that I won't be able to get him to go back upstairs when I need him to. You know, there's only me home right now, and sometimes he does not cooperate, and he's stubborn, and it's like you have to have two people kind of getting him from both sides and other things in his way, and then you can catch him, the dog, and that's, you know, he knows I'm home. He just heard me rocking out on the piano. I don't know if you call it rocking out, but you know what I mean. But I feel bad because I'm not going out for another almost 2 hours, and then I'm going to be out for another 2 hours approximately. But it's maybe just one of those kind of days, you know. I wish it was happening closer to lunch, since there is going to be a meal provided, because then it wouldn't be as long a wait. I'm just going to go get a water. But yes, I am finding that they've got me a little bit sweaty, and I have already had a shower. So I want to wear that. Well, I've already got the pink hair. That's good enough. That one shows too much chest hair. Some people might like it, but some people might think I'm trying for something, which may or may not be the case. But yeah, so curious who we got watching. If you've been here before, how you came across the channel, glad to have you here. I'm just topping off my warm water with a colder one. And yeah. Normally, because of the time I'm going to be heading out, I would have lunch first, but there's going to be food there. And if I don't like it, for whatever reason, there are some options around that I could get something else at. Which reminds me, I have to make sure I have my wallet with. I think, is that on the counter? Let me just check. Yeah, okay, good. So, okay, you both left. Think it was going to take that long? I know you may have just gotten here, possibly for the first time, but couldn't let me just go check the counter? I mean, how far could the counter have been? Like, seriously. Just kidding. Well, we made it all the way to Pakistan today, and I don't know where Adi is from, but the RL, that does sound like somebody who may have been in Terranum's. Although I didn't recognize it, but I remember her I remember her saying the name. So yeah, if you've been here in this video especially, or any of my other videos before, and there's something that you've enjoyed in the past that you'd like to talk a little bit about, feel free to say. If there's a song you'd like to hear me do, feel free to say, and I'll see what I can do. I'm getting a little bit worried about Maxie. It's an interesting title because it doesn't say that he's live yet, and this is around the time that he usually comes live. It's this musician in another country that I watch. I discovered them both around the same time, actually, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I don't feel, I mean, if you want to chat for a little bit, I'm available to do so. I don't feel a strong need for social connection today because I'm going to have some, but I don't know really to what extent. I don't know if, I mean, it's going to be amongst people that I'm not familiar with. But that's fine. Make friends with the strangers. That's fine. Um, and I mean, I mostly, you know, mostly not shy to do so. I mean, a little bit sometimes maybe, but you know, I'm sure I'll be sitting next to somebody. So, you know, I mean, but will they be someone who seems warm and open to chatting, or someone who's just keeping to themselves, or on their device, or just distracted? Don't know. Um, there might be a couple people that I'm somewhat familiar with, but yeah, and I think that that's also something that I would say in moments when you feel lonely. I mean, it's great when you can comfort yourself and appreciate that time for yourself. However, and this is not saying you wouldn't, but yes, whether you feel much from their presence or not, I would certainly say that, you know, letting your angels be with you, your angels of your loved ones that have passed away, is a very special thing. So yeah. Well, I put a lot into this, and I think I did do another podcast earlier today. It wasn't quite an hour, but it was close. So I think I'm going to wrap her up. Truly, that thing that happened last night. Well, I don't know if there's anything that. I mean, I was going to say it earlier, so I'll say it now quickly, and then I might wrap this up. But I think that there is probably chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. Nobody's here anymore, but I think that there was probably a reason that it occurred. I mean, usually there is with things. Sometimes there's not, or it's not a good reason, it's not a valid reason, but usually there is. And I guess I'm trying to figure out what it is. If it's that I need to that I should have been telling myself something different, and what that was, should have done different. And as much as I said in the video last night that, you know, now that I'm not around them and don't know if I'd be able to connect with them in some way unless I go back there sometime and see them again, you know, there's not much I can do. However, I might be able to look them up and find them. What is true is that it might be a little bit awkward to I could, well, no, I can't, some people might be able to say, oh, well, the name change is what confused me. But as I mentioned last night, I know that people do that. So, I mean, it really, it didn't. And I wouldn't want to make myself sound um, dumb or whatever by not having had that occur to me. Sorry if that offended anybody, but I mean, we're living in 2025. People, whether it's because they change gender in some way or whatever, they do it. And if you don't know that, surprise, you should, kind of thing. So it would be a little bit. I guess I could possibly say we were just focused on our games, didn't want to interrupt yours, and and make the system think that you weren't still playing or whatever. It's a pretty rapid game, and there was only three of them and two of us, so it's not like we had a whole bunch of people in between turns. So that it's not a lie either. Like that makes sense. Um, so yeah, But I did a video last night. I didn't mention them specifically, name wise or whatever, but I did a video where I talked about that having happened and thoughts I was having, and just in general, talking about, judgment and how we all judge people, and we're not necessarily wrong for doing it, but I think we need to notice that we're doing it and maybe do it less, or grow with it, you know. So yeah, like I say, the one of the main topics in this, I realize that it's something people will feel mixed about, or not sure what they feel about it, or really against, you know. And in some ways, if that's the case, especially the latter, if it's not just skeptic, like they really think like it's bad or evil or whatever, I'm kind of glad that they didn't say anything. They just respectfully left. Like I say, there was occasionally two or three people here at once for a while as I was channeling, mostly for myself, and so I think it resonated with them. Um, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this much, okay? And I haven't even watched them lately. I did watch John Edwards a bit lately, but John Edwards, Teresa Caputo. I had a Long Island iced tea actually last night for the first time in ages, and I was actually going to ask somebody who said, "Is there anybody in a group?" They asked if there was anybody from Long Island. I was going to say, "Yeah, Teresa Caputo," but they were quite religious, and I didn't know whether they'd heard of her or not. Looked her up whether they would like my mentioning it, so I didn't. But and Matt Fraser, they're all pretty good ones that I follow from time to time. Maybe I'll even do a little bit of that next. Um, but because you didn't get the direct links, so she's going to see those before that. So she'll probably just click this one. Anywho, um, but they're pricey and they have long wait lists. I'm not, and I mostly don't. So if you'd like to talk more about it, feel free to comment. And yeah, sorry, I'm just moving my hands around. Not trying to be weird or anything, but I am tired. I do have, truth be told, yeah. I mean, it's a bit of time, but like, I mean, I had that thought cross my mind about the dog, and so there might be something to it, and I don't want to have to exert more energy dealing with that than I need to, and usually it's good. And, I open up the thing by the stairs, and he runs up just fine, but this would be the one time he doesn't, and then he'd make me tired and possibly late, and it's just one of those days. He's very blessed and lucky that, for the most part, um, one of us is home. Well, a lot more than if somebody had a day job, that they were at. Um, sorry about that in the background. So, you know, and he lays around different places. I don't always give him a ton of attention, but I do somewhat, through the day. So, but yeah, whether I say an update about the day after I've went through more of it or not, I don't know. But I am gonna wrap this one up. I think I am hungry. As much as I'm curious about this pipe ceremony, I hope it doesn't last long because I wanted to get to the meal. Um, the meal in the um, conversations. I'm curious to see who I end up talking with, what conversations I get into. Um, it could be very interesting. I mean, a lot of indigenous people, they believe in the spirit world quite a bit too, right? So, I mean, but that may not be what I talk about. I might say that, I'm so glad to have found this place. It kind of transpired, like I said earlier, from a friend's passing, and she dealt with this struggle. Um, and yeah. Okay. Anyway, Gonna wrap up, put a bow on it, and say, talk to you later. Take care, kind to yourself and others, and have a great day. Whatever time of day you're watching this at, make it good. Enjoy. I hope that I've helped.